It is pretty unlikely that Congress will pass any version of a police reform bill before the election. This week, the House passed a comprehensive reform bill named in honor of George Floyd. Its plan was to reform qualified immunity for officers, ban chokeholds, establishes also a national registry to track police misconduct, and ends no-knock warrants in federal drug cases, but probably won't even be considered in the Republican-led Senate. And Senate Democrats rejected the Republicans' version of a reform legislation on policing earlier this week. Let's talk about this now with my next guest, Dr. Howard Henderson, Director of the Center for Justice Research at Texas Southern University. Dr. Henderson, good morning to you. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So let me start here. You heard some of the lists of what's in this this bill that was passed by the House. Is that the right starting point for the long-term shifts in policing that the protesters are asking for?
I don't know if it's the right starting point, but it's a starting point. We need to be able to have a conversation about how we improve the relationship between the police and the community. And we have to have that examination from beginning to the end, from hiring process to disciplinary approaches for officers who express misconduct when dealing with the police.
So let's go through a couple of the proposals, prescriptions I should call them, that you offer. And you start, when you talk about hiring, that departments should phase out non-degreed officers and focus on officers who have college degrees. Why?
The research tells us that officers who have college degrees are 40% less likely to be involved in misconduct. So we understand the reality that police officers need to have college degrees. If probation officers have to have college degrees, if parole officers have to have college degrees, then it makes common sense for police officers to have college degrees.
Texas Southern, an HBCU. I'm a graduate of Howard University, and you say that there is a role for HBCUs to play, several roles that I've read, in the reform of policing. Explain.
Well, here's the deal. The Center for Advancing Opportunity had the idea to form several research centers and researchers around the country, our research center being one of those. We understand that those individuals that are closest to the situation are closest to the solution. We have a plethora of qualified black researchers at historical black colleges who are able to answer the problems that we're facing today.
The additional elements that you're calling for, hiring officers with degrees, they'll cost more to attract. Adding certifications, adding planning and training for these officers. How does that reconcile with the defund police movement? The people who are calling for that want the money to be invested elsewhere. I assume that you suggest that's a wrong route?
No, well, I'm not saying it's the wrong route. I'm saying that it's great to have a conversation about the reallocation of funds in American policing. The reality of it is that police officers are less likely to be engaged in misconduct. I'm sure that's an opportunity that the public will be willing to have a conversation about, because that's essentially what we're looking at, is reallocating those services where they're best received in American policing.
So let's end where we started here in Washington. The Democratic House bill goes nowhere. The Republican bill didn't even come up for debate. How much of this approach requires national or federal legislation, or can this be worked out on a local level?
Well, here's the reality. 80% of criminal justice is local. There's going to have to be a local component to that. We're going to have to figure out a way to remove the politics from this as best we can and allow the experts to dictate the order of the day.
Dr. Howard Henderson, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Some really thoughtful ideas. Great conversation there.
Yeah.